Hello everyone, good morning. Today, my name is Ranjan and today I am going to give a presentation on the topic big data. So this is the content that I will be covering. That includes introduction, what is big data, characteristics of big data, growth and the market cap globally of big data, top 10 tools used for big data analysis, applications of big data, advantages of using big data, and risk of using big data. So, introduction. So, big data may well be the next big thing in the IT world. And big data is burst upon the scene in the first decade of the 21st century. As we all know that we always constantly use, mobile, like for Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and all those things. Constantly watching videos, sharing messages, sharing videos, sharing audios. So it all comes to like data. Like we all know that data is everything. So there is a large amount of data. As the former executive chairman of Google said that uh, we are actually creating 5 exabytes of data every 2 days, which has drastically increased now. Like it has gone up to like 6 to 7 exabytes of data every day we are creating. So the first organizations to embrace big data were the online and startup firms like Google, eBay, LinkedIn, and they were the ones that they formed the applications around the big data. Like many other new information technologies, big data can bring about dramatic cost reductions, substantial improvements in the time required to perform a computing task on new product and service offerings. So, what is big data? Big data is nothing but it's like data only. Like everything, we know that everything is data. Every transaction and every file, audio, video file, everything is data. But big data is really big in size. Like we are talking about millions of rows of data, okay, which takes a lot of time to process. Like we know that the limitation of Excel is that we can only store and process like 10 lakh 40,000 approx 10 lakh 40,000 rows in Excel, and that too, like if we are using that many rows in Excel, it will take a lot of time. So processing the big data around Excel won't be a possibility. So we require different approaches, tools, and techniques, and totally different architecture for handling big data. And aim to solve the aim for using the big data is to solve new problems or the old problems which were unsolvable earlier. Big data generates values from storage and processing of very large quantities of digital information that cannot be analyzed with traditional computing techniques. Okay. So Walmart, as we know, is one of the very big retail companies, handles more than 1 million customer transactions every hour. So we are talking about like really huge amount of data for a month, or so we can say for a day itself. Like for a day, we can say it's about 24 million rows of data, or we can say 24 million records of data are there is being processed in the Walmart. Facebook handles 40 billion photos from its user base, which is a very huge amount. Okay, and decoding the human genome originally took 10 years to process. Now it can be achieved in 1 week using the big data techniques that we will see later in the slide. So there are the three characteristics of big data. We also call it 3 V's. That is volume, velocity, and variety. In volume, we have data quantity. As we have seen that the volume of data and the big data is very large. Velocity is data speed, and then variety. data types. Like we have n number of data types, like we have string, boolean, and structured, unstructured, all of them, all of the data mixed together. So talking about the characteristics, first is volume, that is the data quantity. So a typical PC in like 2000s might have 10 gigabytes, that is 10 GB of storage. Today we see that Facebook ingests in, ingests 500 terabytes of new data every day. That is 50 TB of data is being processed every day in Facebook. Boeing 737, that is an flight, an airplane, will generate 240 terabytes of flight data during a single flight across the US. So that is a lot of data for just a single flight. The smartphones, the data they create and consume, sensors embedded into everyday objects like smartwatches, Fitbits, and all these instruments. So all of them create data, which is then analyzed and uh, visualized, analyzed as per the customer or business requirements. Then we have velocity, that is data speed. Click streams and ad impressions capture user behavior at millions of events per second. And high frequency stock trading algorithms reflect market changes within microseconds. Machine to machine processes exchange data between billions of devices. Like we see, uh, like we have seen in the process of the Boeing 747 itself, like it's creating data and then it's sending the data back to the ATC tower, and all those are categorized under machine to machine processes. Infrastructure and sensor generate massive log data in real time. Sensors that are embedded into all of the electronic equipment that we use, refrigerators, microwave ovens, all the like smart watches, and all these sensors. There are almost every equipment now has a sensor embedded in them. Online gaming systems support millions of concur concurrent users, each producing multiple inputs per second. Like we see that while playing like any online game like PUBG, Fortnite, Valorant, etc., there are n number of multiple users that are interacting with each other, playing in a single platform. And then third is variety, that is data types. So big data isn't just numbers. Okay, so it contains all the variety of data, that is like dates, strings, uh, geospatial data, like we have the country codes, then we have the postal codes, city names, etc. 3D data is there, audio and video, that these come under the unstructured data, as we know. And then we have unstructured text, including log files and social media. Traditional database systems were designed to address smaller volumes of structured data. Like we have seen, we have used Excel, and Excel is basically used for smaller volumes of data. And then big data analysis include different types of uh, data. So basically, these all are the types of data that we use in big data analysis. Big data growth and market cap globally. So big data currently is projected at around 77 billion US dollars, and it is projected to be at 103 US billion dollars at around 2027. So its market cap is growing at a good rate, as we can see from the graph. Then moving on, we will see the top 10 tools used for big data analysis. So first one is Apache Hadoop, and then Cassandra, Qubel, Plenty, Spark, MongoDB, Apache Storm, SAS, DataPine, and RapidMiner. These are the tools that are famously used by most of the organizations that deal with big data. Moving on to the applications of big data. So first is travel and tourism industry. So travel and tourism industry basically forecast the travel facilities requirements for multiple locations. Uh, we have seen that there are many websites like Make My Trip and all that. So what they basically do is to forecast all the they collect all the data like if like when the maximum number of people are traveling from which place to where and what's the month going to be. So they forecast that data, and then they makes all the arrangements. Like if we say that they know that in November or December the maximum number of travels are going to be in Goa, so they will have deal set with all the like uh, hotels over there. So like if you travel to Goa and book a hotel through Make My Trip in Goa, then you will get a discount. So these are the predictions that this travel and tourism industry is using. Then we have the financial sector. We have banking. We have big banks and uh, all the banks and consulting agencies that are using big data for analytics to know the behavior of the customer, so they can give their give them an investment investment plan based on the patterns of the investment and shopping trends. Like uh, like we have seen the collaboration of different banks with online retailers such as Flipkart and Amazon. Like if you buy something from Amazon through this debit card or credit card, you will get this much amount of discount. So big data has also started making massive difference in the healthcare sector. With the help of predictive analysis, medical professionals and healthcare personnel, it can produce personalized healthcare and solo patients also. So we have seen this in there are many startups and there are many companies. Like if you are using a smartwatch, so they basically can give you the plan, and they know that when you are how many steps you are taking, what's your heart rate, and is there any abnormality, or is what is the issue with uh, the health conditions. They all know such sort of things, and they make changes, and they project healthcare plans and such things accordingly. Then we have the telecommunications and multimedia sector. These are the main users basically of big data. There are zettabytes of data that is generated every day, and handling large scale data that require big data technologies. And we have the military, government and military. Like government agencies basically there suppose we take the example of Aadhaar card. So government has about 1.21 billion record of 1.21 billion citizens via Aadhaar card, and such huge number of data can be handled through big data technologies only. So they can be uh, uh, you know used for analyzing, and for like governments to give a plan, to have a roadmap of the future, like what schemes and policies they are going to implement in the future. Like they have the records of all the youth people that of particular age, what is going to be the schemes and policies for the future population. Then we have the e-commerce industry. So e-commerce is also basically a main application of big data. It maintains relationships with customer that is essential for the e-commerce industry. E-commerce websites have many marketing ideas to retail merchandise customers, manage transactions, and implement better strategies of innovative ideas to improve businesses with big data. So, we have seen in multiple examples that Sir has given us, how how e-commerce basically uses the data based, like if they have sales, huge number of sales in a particular city, so they will be predicting and giving the discounts as per the sales on the particular city and to a particular customer. Like if the customer has done maximum number of purchases from that like Flipkart, so the Flipkart will be giving a good amount of discount to that customer. Then we have social media. Social media is also this is the largest basically data generator. Like we know that we constantly share reels, make videos, take photos, upload photos, chat on social media, all those things. So this is basically creating 500 plus terabytes of fresh data daily just from Facebook. And like we share reels on Instagram and itself, like it's also creating a huge amount of data that has been transferred on a daily basis. So all these trends, and we can say like if you are sharing a reel to multiple friends, and like we now now social media says that this is on trending, so it's like that because that they have the algorithm which basically analyzes this uh, data and gives predictions and all the trends which are going. So advantages of using big data. So advantages are like customer acquisition and retention is basically quite easy with big data. Like you know that this customer is purchasing on a daily basis or something like that. Focused and targeted promotions. Like if someone is uh, purchasing from a particular website or particular site on a daily basis, then we could focus the promotions to that customer. Potential risk identification, we can also identify all the risks related to the hacks and all those things. Innovative, and then complex supplier networks, cost optimization, improve efficiency and time reduction. All these are there, are the advantages of using big data. So like everything, there is also risk of using big data because the data the data which is being generated is like exponentially increasing. So we will be actually needing new technologies in the future because we will be soon overwhelmed by the amount of data that is being created on a daily basis, and we need the right people to and solve the right problems, because it's like we have too much amount of data and we really don't know what the problem is. Like we have too much information and cost escalate too fast isn't necessary to capture 100%. Many sources of big data is privacy and self-regulation and legal regulations. Thank you.